Hi, everybody. I hope you're keeping well. My name is Dr. Sean O'Reilly, and I am an assistant professor of accounting at UCD, and I am the program director for the Masters of Accounting program. I'm going to give you a very brief overview of the two postgraduate accounting programs that we have. I am joined by the fantastic program manager that we have, which is Neve Smith. I
Hello.
myself am the program director on the MAC, which is a Master of Accounting program. And my colleague, Dr. John McCallick, is the program director for the Masters of Accounting and Financial Management that I will talk to you about very shortly. So very quickly, guys, really the accountancy qualification itself, because ultimately, if you do these programs, this is what you will, probably further your studies and try to become a qualified accountant. So really, it expands your career options massively, in my opinion. It also makes higher level jobs more accessible. It's a long-term investment in your career, really. The accountancy qualifications, both Chartered Accountants of Ireland and ACCA, and even if you wanted to embark on CIMA or CPA or whatever it might be, they're internationally recognized, and it provides a clear path to faster career progression. So, a lot of our graduates will have roles in industry, working with large companies, some of the biggest companies in the world, multinational companies, and so on. You could go into practice, where a lot of our graduates will work for the top four accountancy firms, such as PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, and EY, but also other firms outside the top four. There is the route that I took, which is academia. Not many accountants go down this route, but that option is certainly open to you as well if you wanted to undertake a PhD post doing a master's program at UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School. There's the opportunity to maybe branch into consulting a bit more. We know that accounting is an ever-changing industry, and I suppose it's been revolutionized by technology. So what I'm going to just talk to you about very, very quickly before we get into the actual details of the program is to provide you a kind of overview of the future of accounting. And there is a high demand for accountants, both in Ireland and globally, because for whatever reason, the interest in accounting is somewhat dwindling, but I don't know why. Because people think that accounting is somewhat of a boring job, but that couldn't be further from the truth now. I think technology and AI, machine learning, data analytics is changing the game in terms of accounting. So it's no more about, tot checking figures or, using calculators and stuff like that back to the way it was 20, 30 years ago. All basic accounting tasks are automated now. And that allows accountants to provide higher value work and act really more as consultants more than anything else. The other big thing that's coming down the tracks is sustainability and sustainability reporting. Well, sustainability in general, which you guys may have heard from some of our other programs, is one of the hottest topics in global business, without a doubt. And we know climate change is one of the most pressing issues globally. Accountants have a huge role to play in this particular field because sustainability reporting is huge in the accounting and audit profession. So as of January 2025, companies are going to have to report their ESG data for the financial year 2024. Certain companies, not all companies, by the way, but the majority of large companies, if they hit over a certain threshold, they're going to have to report ESG data under what's known as the CSRD, which is a Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive in the EU. And who is going to report that? Accountants. So we are now becoming more and more important for all different types of companies. And I believe this is an ideal opportunity for you guys to come into this profession by undertaking a master's program at UCD, obtaining exemptions that will allow you to further your professional career in accountancy. And ultimately, you guys will be at the forefront of all of these changes coming down the line in the next 5 to 10 years. And accountants have big impact now on a lot of business. So the future of accounting is very, very bright in terms of there's a lot of jobs in Ireland in this particular industry, and it's no longer as boring, let's say, as people may think, due to technology, due to the role that accountants play in sustainability. So that's my kind of quick brief on accounting. But accountants love money, okay? And a survey that was undertaken just last year, every year there's a survey by Brightwater on the salaries of different graduate programs or of different professions within Ireland. And in 2023, the average for a newly qualified accountant is about 60,000 euros, which is pretty good. And you can see, depending on the level that you go up to, whether it's finance director, you're looking at a huge salary. And by having the professional accountancy qualification, you kind of break through any glass ceiling that would be there if you didn't have it. So this particular master's program, along with further developing your professional accountancy career via Chartered Accountants Ireland or ACCA, will give you these particular opportunities in the future. And there are a lot of opportunities, guys, trust me, in this particular field. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk to you very quickly about the MAC. So this is the Masters of Accounting program. Now, it should be noted that this is very, very specific to candidates or students that have Cap 1 exemptions from Chartered Accountants Ireland. So this is really geared towards those that have already done some level of accounting and have Cap 1 exemptions. So dependent on what university you're coming from, and especially if you're an international student who's going to travel to Ireland, you would really want to know if you are eligible for Cap 1 exemptions before applying for this program, because if you don't have them, you cannot undertake this course. But before we talk a little bit further about that, I'll just give you a very quick overview. The MAC was established in 1979. It's the leading and longest established accounting specialist master's degree in Ireland. The reputation is phenomenal. It is the #1 master's program in accounting, bar none. 100% employment immediately after the program. That's the statistic that we get for the last, I don't know how long, every year, because a lot of people come into the program with jobs already secured, or if they don't, they go for what's called the milk rounds, where they look and get graduate positions in some of the top firms. And because of the Smurfit brand, because of the fact that they're getting Cap 2 exemptions, they're all been employed immediately. So on this year's current cohort, we have everybody is employed already. So when we look at last year's cohort, 33 students, pretty much a 50-50 split in terms of male, female, and we have 7 different undergraduate universities represented across that program. So it's a very nice mix. Now, what are the actual requirements to get into the class? And I know Kathy has kindly posted into the chat the Masters of Accounting program, a link that's directly to that particular program. You need to get a good, solid 2-1 minimum. So the GPA entry requirement is 3.3, plus you need to have Cap 1 exemptions from Chartered Accountants Ireland. The class size is between 30 to 50. And we wanted at that because of the intense nature of the course. And we have a fantastic team of lecturers. A lot of the lecturers, myself included, work with Chartered Accountants Ireland on some of the different examinations. So you are getting great insight from the faculty members themselves. We have a fantastic network of alumni. It's a recognized brand. And I suppose more importantly for some people is the exemptions, or the pathway to exemptions, that you don't have to do that many professional exams to become a qualified accountant. Now, this is very specific, okay? But just to give you a background or overview to this. So, for example, if you are, an undergraduate student now, and you're looking at doing that Masters of Accounting program, and again, I know that there'll be people more focused on the Masters in Accounting of Financial Management, so bear with me and I'll get through this as quick as I can. But if you look at the MAC on the right-hand side of this particular slide, you're an undergraduate student now. You do the MAC in 24-25, which is what I hope you guys will do, and I hope to see some of you on the program. Year 1, then when you go into a firm, Big 4, you have no exams. Unless you go down the tax route and you want to do the tax qualification as well as a professional accountancy qualification, you'll have no exams. Year 2, you'll do your FAEs, final admittance exams with Chartered Accountants Ireland. And then in year 3, you finish your contract. If you do not do the Masters and you want to go directly into a company, and this is the questions I get all the time, what's the difference between going through a company and doing the MAC? Well, if you go into a Big 4, you will have Cap 2 exams. Then in year 2, you will do your FEs. Hopefully you'll have passed at that stage, or you might have to repeat, I don't know. And then in year 4, you still have another 6 months. So you're cutting your contract by 6 months while obtaining a master's degree, while not having to study and work at the same time. And I think that is a huge, huge benefit of doing the MAC. But I think the greatest benefit of all, guys, as you can see on the screen there, is the pass rates. So as you can see, in the last 3 sittings of the FAEs, 23, 22, and 21, the guys that have done the MAC have passed first time, every single student. There is a 100% pass rate on the FAEs from the students that did the MAC program at UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School. We've also had people excel in the exams, such as finishing 2nd place, 9th place, joint 2nd, 1st place, 4 people in the top 10. Like, it's incredible. And that's because of the way that it's taught. It's because of the detail that we go into, and it's because of the faculty that we have on the course itself. Now, just to talk to you about the program structure very, very quickly, and then I'll be moving on to the Masters in Accounting and Financial Management. So the program structure, basically, if you look at our foundation, we have our core technical skills, which is our CAP 2, or the equivalent maybe of ACCA. And the pillars here are really financial accounting, management accounting, auditing, and taxation. We have analytical skills, I suppose you want to call it that, integrative analysis and accounting, business analysis and valuation, which is kind of some corporate finance work, and accounting analytics. And then we also have embedded professional development skills, something which is of great importance in the accountancy profession. And that's a professional development module, applications of skills in and outside the classroom. So a lot of presentations, a lot of group work, and it's really, really cool mix of the technical stuff with more of the softer skills, which are of huge importance. Now, guys, if we look at the current program structure that we have, and it's split into 3 trimesters. So we have autumn trimester, spring trimester, and summer trimester. And what we see, you know, it's quite straightforward in terms of the core modules. You have to do all of them in autumn and the spring trimester. So that's financial reporting, auditing and assurance 1, which is what I teach, capital and indirect taxation. We have accounting analytics, which brings in the modern accountant in terms of data analytics. We use a lot of Ultrex and Tableau, which is really cool. And then we have management accounting. They're the fundamental pillars that we talked about in the previous slide. In the spring trimester, we have advanced financial accounting, which kind of covers consolidated financial statements, auditing and assurance 2, which I will be delivering also. Then we have the other component of tax, which is corporate and personal tax. There's tax case study workshops, and then we have our business valuation and analysis. In the summer trimester, we have the 2 core modules, which is professional development and integrative analysis and accounting, which is very case study focused. And then you have optional modules. And we have a lot of different optional modules, such as the Taxation Summer School. I'll talk to you about that in a moment, because we are the only master's program in Ireland that has an exemption from the Institute of Taxation. And we'll talk about that in a moment. If you want to get the exemption for the Tax Institute, you must do the Tax Summer School. Other optional modules: FinTech Financial Manager, Accounting Technology, Strategic Management, Accounting Practice, and something very, very cool that's very new and novel and up to date is Sustainability Reporting and Analysis. And I think everybody will thoroughly enjoy that. Now, in terms of how the exemptions are broken down for CAP 2, auditing, so I'm not going to read through this, guys. You can get this online. You can reach out to me directly. I'll post my email into the chat later, and you can see how the exemptions fall. But the exemptions for CAP 2 are auditing and assurance, strategic finance management accounting, financial reporting, and taxation. And you can get them from the modules that you cover on the EMAC program. Later on, if you want to go down the Chartered Accountants Ireland route, you have what's known as the FAE. And the FAE is there's a core exam, which is financial reporting, strategic management and leadership, risk management and sustainability. And then we have data analytics, artificial intelligence, and emerging technologies. They're the 4 main subject areas. And we cover a lot of them on the EMAC program to gear you guys up for these exams. That is why we have a 100% pass rate over the last couple of years. You also can undertake an elective, and you must do one of the following: advanced auditing and assurance, advanced taxation, and advisory. But what is different in terms of the EMAC program is the Irish Taxation Institute. And by undertaking the tax modules, you can get an exemption from all of part 1 of the tax. So we look at the blocks here. Part 1, you have them exempt, and part 2, business taxes, application and interaction, that is also exempt. So if you undertake the tax qualification, you get more exemptions from the EMAC than any other master's program in the country. So that is another really, really beneficial point of doing the EMAC. And that's just a very quick summary. So guys, conscious of time and conscious of the fact that there will probably be a couple of questions, I can see some Q&A, and this is what maybe a lot of our international candidates would be very, very interested to hear, is the MSc Accounting and Financial Management. So we have redesigned this program, and I believe, and I don't know whether it's a good or bad thing, but I've been involved in a lot of these programs for many years now, and I trust me when I say this, this is the #1 program in accounting in terms of how up to date it is that's out there anywhere. I would be very, very hard pressed to find a better master's program than this one here, because we have redesigned it to make it as modern and up to date as possible. And it includes a lot of sustainability and a lot of technology. So we are trying to, prepare graduates or work-ready graduates, if you want to call it that, or graduates that are going to go into these firms who are going to get jobs and are going to stand out. And the difference between, let's say, last year's MSc in AFM, that's the short version we'll have, AFM, Accounting and Financial Management, we have even more exemptions. There's an outstanding reputation. And based off 22-23 data, 94% employed immediately after the program, which is phenomenal. So based on this year's cohort, 59 students, 90% are international, and then we have a female to male ratio that's quite high towards females. But again, every cohort is different. Different years, it'll be different, but that's just a snapshot of the current cohort. So what do you study as part of this particular program? So when you come in and you kick off, there is going to be an accounting and business bootcamp. So it's an introduction module. Why? Because this master's can act as a conversion program. So if you have not studied accounting before, but you have a strong interest in business, or you have done some quantitative degree, such as math, science, engineering, economics, or you have a good quantitative understanding, you can apply for this master's. And in this accounting and business bootcamp, it will give you a very, very good introduction to accounting. That's the purpose of this introduction module. Then you will cover strategic corporate finance, strategic management, which gives you a good oversight into management and business, financial and ESG reporting. So this is brand new, and it will embed some of the ESG reporting that I referred to earlier on in terms of the future of the accountant and how important this is for accountants. You guys will get an insight into this particular module and this particular subject, and you'll be well versed with ESG reporting. And then something even cooler is management and environmental accounting. So we're looking at not just management accounting decisions such as, capital expenditure and budgets and so on, but we're looking at carbon budgets. We're looking at green budgeting. We're looking at, when we make decisions, what environmental factors are we thinking of when we're engaging in the purchase of a new building, or, constructing a new manufacturing plant, or whatever it might be. What are the environmental aspects that we need to consider? Because now accountants are having as I said earlier on, impact. We are looking at impact on the environment and society. We're not just looking at financial anymore. We're looking at environmental, social, and governance data. In the spring trimester, something that's of great importance, especially in the era of climate change and climate change mitigation, financial risk management. So that's a very, very cool module. Accounting for performance and control. And we have then the first technology piece, accounting and business analytics. And this is when we'll be having a deep dive into data analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, and how accountants actually will use these data to enhance better decision-making. Okay, and you guys will be using tools such as Altrex and Tableau, which is a data preparation, data visualization tools, to be able to, make better decisions. Okay, using big data sets. How can we use data visualization tools to assess different trends, for example? So again, that's really cool. And then we have law and governance. Now, when you look at the summer trimester and you have to pick 4 of the following optional modules. Now, this is really cool because dependent on what way you want to go, or depending if you want more exemptions or not, you can pick, whatever modules you want. So for example, if you want more exemptions, you will probably have to do advanced financial reporting, auditing and assurance, and taxation. If you've no interest in the exemptions, or you're willing to do them yourself at a different stage, or, you don't want to do one of them, well, then you can focus on some of the others, of which we have AI and machine learning in accounting. Very, very technical, and you'll be using a lot of software in that particular module. Financial data technology, also you'll be using a lot of software on that particular program. And then finally, sustainability reporting and analysis. So you can see the core themes of this particular program have been redesigned, that we have our pillars of accounting, financial accounting, management accounting, and so on, but it's heavily embedded with sustainability and technology. And that's why I believe it is the perfect fit for a lot of people who want to be ahead of everybody else in this particular profession. Now, just moving on in terms of the modules again. So I have proposed exemptions, and I want to make that crystal clear when we're looking through this, because at the moment we're in the application process. So I cannot say, it's I believe it's 99% guaranteed we have these, but we don't have them yet, but they're at the final stages. Okay. So I have to make us aware of that. Okay. So to get CAP 1 exemptions from Chartered Accountants Ireland, it's finance, financial accounting, law, management accounting, and taxation. So I've referred in the MSc modules as to how you get those exemptions. And there they are there on your screen, guys. Okay. So for example, if you want a CAP 1 exemption in law, you do the law and governance module, which you have to do. It's a core module. So you get a CAP 1 exemption. If it's taxation, it's an optional module. If you want the CAP 1 exemption for taxation, you'll have to do taxation and so on. Now, a big one that's very favorable for international candidates is ACCA, because we know ACCA is a global accountancy body, whereas Chartered Accountants Ireland is more focused in Ireland, although they have a huge global reach, but still they have 33,000 members versus ACCA, who have 280,000 members globally. So the difference is pretty big. And here's the exemptions. Audit and assurance, you need to do the audit and assurance module. Corporate and business law, you need to do the law and governance module, and so on and so forth. So there's the exemptions. Now, again, guys, just to make it crystal clear, we are in the application process from both Chartered Accountants Ireland and ACCA, and if successful, it will be available for students undertaking the program in September 2024. Just so you know, or if people are asking, or who people are, or if we have people who are knowledgeable about ACCA, there's the applied knowledge subjects, which is business and technology, financial accounting, and management accounting. They're at a very, very low level. They're the introduction exemptions that you get before the more detailed ones. But you automatically get these exemptions from undertaking the program anyway. So for that reason, I haven't included them here on the screen. Okay, so you will get them. You will get all 9 exemptions from ACCA if we are successful with this. And again, it's stated on the website and it will be frequently updated. So guys, just to finish up now, I just have one slide left, and then we're in good time then for 10 minutes or so of Q&A. Well, what to expect if you do these programs? Now, I'm referring to both the MAC and the MSc AFM. So there is an increased workload from undergraduate studies. There is no doubt about that. There is self-directed learning. So, you will be prompted you have to do these readings. You have to investigate or research this as well yourself. For the MAC in particular, there's a large volume of materials. There will be a lot more collaborative learning. You'll be working in groups. I think, the professional development piece, the personal growth that you will experience, the soft skills in terms of working in groups, doing presentations is invaluable. But that's what to expect that's different maybe from your undergraduate studies. There are a lot of challenges and hard work involved. I'm not going to pretend it's easy, but it's not that hard either. But if you are well organized, you work hard, you're enthusiastic, you interact and engage, you will thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy either of these programs. It's going to be interactive and engaging. I can only maybe go off my class and some of my colleagues. I love to engage in, some level of theory, which we have to do, unfortunately, in auditing, but always case studies, always real life examples, always doing different workshops and group work and getting students feedback and opinion, because ultimately that is the best way of learning. And, that's the method that we operate, similar to the integrative analysis in accounting. It's all case study driven. You guys will really, really enjoy it. So in the end, you will have a sense of accomplishment and exemptions, which are critical then for your future accountancy career. So guys, that's it from me. If you do want to reach out directly, I'll just go back maybe to the very first slide. Apologies for skipping through this so fast, but my email is there. Sean.O'Reilly@ucd.ie. I'm more than happy to take any questions on either of the programs, and hopefully I can guide you in the right direction. So that's it from me, really. I'm just going to go and maybe look into some of the Q&A. Or, Niamh, if you want to...
Yeah, would you like me to read them? Yeah, there's a few that most likely will be answered by yourself or maybe Laura in a few of them. I'm happy to read them out. So hello, everybody. And thank you, Sean. That was a great presentation. There was one question that came in and said, what are the job prospects after completing Masters in Accounting and Financial Management?
Yeah, no problem, Niamh. Listen, the job market is buoyant at the moment in Ireland. And I suppose someone doing the MSc and AFM, now with the exemptions we have, your options are accelerated even further, because you're going to have exemptions from CAP 1 Chartered Accountants Ireland and ACCA F1 to F9 in the old syllabus, if you want to call it that. So The job prospects are, well, you can go down the big firms and you can go into an auditing or accountancy trainee contract in one of the top 10 firms because you have Cap 1 exemptions. You're not really a risk to the firms then because you're just going to go in and do Cap 2 exams and then hopefully progress through to your FEs. Or you could go into industry if you wanted to do ACCA and, AIB, Bank of Ireland, some of the Central Bank of Ireland, that there's a lot of different graduate programs specifically for accountants. So Niamh, you would probably agree with me on this. I think the job market is very, very, very strong for accountants at the moment, especially those coming out from UCD. Again, the MAC has a 100% job employment rate after the program, and the AFM, based off last year's data, is 94%. I don't think you're going to get too many master's programs that have a higher ratio than that, really.
No, that's correct. Thanks a million, Sean, for that. There's just another question. Is it true that a part qualified accountant would be preferred than a master's student for a job in accounting finance sector?
I don't agree with that because you're technically part qualified when you do a master's program anyway, because you have some of the exemptions. So yes, of course, if I have done, let's say, Cap 1 and Cap 2 myself, or I've done half of the ACCAs, and I have maybe some work experience, that's fine. But in terms of getting a job in a graduate program or going to some of the big four, they would probably prefer a master's student because they're on that path with the exams and it's a very clear path. Whereas somebody who's coming in with some experience, some exemptions, it can be quite challenging. So I don't know if I do 100% agree with that statement. Different companies would view it differently. So obviously I can't speak on behalf of maybe some industry, but I know in practice in the big four, they would rather you come with the master's program.
Thank you very much, Sean. There's one question from somebody coming with work experience in HR. She wants to, or he or she wants to build a career in accounting and finance sector. Will it be easy to get a job without having relevant experience? I know these are all career-based.
No, that's great. Yeah. And you know what, Niamh? I think a lot of the guys that are potentially, again, if they're international or they're Irish candidates, it's important to know this stuff because you don't want to put all this effort and travel and money into this without understanding the job prospect. But I can guarantee you the job prospects are very, very, very good. I think someone in HR, if you were planning on submitting for, let's say, the MSc AFM, because that's the only program of the two you will be eligible for because you don't have Cap 1 exemptions, just to provide a very, very strong personal statement as to why you want to do the program, because it would be a risk having no quantitative background or any kind of experience whatsoever in finance. But when you undertake the master's program, which with your Cap 1s or whatever it might be, it won't make any difference to get into some of the jobs, because even students who do an undergraduate program in our Bachelor of Commerce, which is the flagship business program, let's say, in UCD, they don't have any experience either, but they're still getting into the job. So no, I don't think that will matter if you have some of the exemptions through the master's programs.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going down through them, so I want to make sure we get as many across the board questions. So, have you seen a 2-2, as in grade 2-2 students in the accounting and financial master's stream ever?
Really good question. We may have to reach out to someone else on that. The MSc AFM, yes. The MAC, no. And that is probably because with the MAC, you need the Cap 1 exemption. So you need that fundamental base already. But the intensity and the work rate in that particular program, if you did not obtain a 2-1, you will really, really struggle. And it's not fair on that particular candidate. So the MAC, very restrictive. MSc AFM, 2-2s are welcome.
Thank you, Sean. There's just one question here with regards to the option modules. And do all students have to pick the same option modules, or can they pick independent ones? So the answer to that is that the option modules available on the program that you select, you can actually choose them independently, provided that there's capacity on the module. So you don't have to be in line with the rest of your student colleagues. So that answers that one. For AI and machine learning module, is it mandatory to know coding?
No, it's not. So we will be going at this at a very basic level first, because nobody really would have an understanding, and you will be doing very, very basic coding perhaps, and you will learn it as you go through it. So I think it'll be a very enjoyable module, but the base level is 0. nobody has done this before. So I can categorically say you do not need to know coding, but you will learn a little bit as you go through it, which would be great. Sorry, Niamh, I think you're on mute there.
I undid myself. So thank you very much, Sean. And Laura, I think you might be able to answer this one. Does medium of instruction in English certificate from college works for admission, or should a student take up IELTS?
Yeah, so unless your undergrad degree was completed in an English-speaking country that we recognise, you will need to complete an IELTS or a TOEFL. So you can apply to each of the programs without your English language test, and then we'll let you know if we require one. So you'll only need your English language just before you begin.
Thank you, Laura. That was great. Back to you, Sean. How different is MS in corporate finance? Is that easy? What are the pros? Now, I'm not quite sure I understand that question. How different is MS? Yeah. How different is the corporate? Yeah, I'm not sure. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. We might get that individual. If you want to follow up on that, that would be great.
Yeah, and if you want to clarify that and just put it in the questions, we're going to move on to another question here. Can we get exemptions in CAI after completing the AFM?
Yes, and that's the difference this year that we've never had before, is exemptions from Cap 1 from Chartered Accountants Ireland. Now, that will give you other options, maybe to go straight into a company and do your Cap 2s and then subsequently the FAEs with Chartered Accountants Ireland. Or if you wanted to stay on and you loved UCD that much, you could then follow through and do the MAC program and you get Cap 2s as well. But look, that's something we haven't faced before because we've never had Cap 1 exemptions until now. So this is game changing for this particular program, that you can come in and you get Cap 1 and ACCA exemptions, and then you can decide what career path you want to go or what professional body you would like to work with. So I can categorically say yes, that if successful with the application process, which I'm 99% sure we will be, you will get Cap 1 exemptions.
Thank you, Sean. That was great. From an anonymous attendee, and there's two questions. I'm presuming they're from the same person. How does the curriculum at UCD bridge the industry gap, particularly to accounting and finance sector? And in another question, they've got, I have some Cap 1 exemptions. So I'm presuming it's the same person.
Yeah, well, if you have some Cap 1 exemptions, and I only met a student today who's in a similar position, that they have some Cap 1 exemptions, they want to do the MAC, please reach out to me and I can give you guidance on what you should do. But you can actually sit some of the Cap 1s independent yourself. So if you had 2 or 3 Cap 1s, you could do the additional 1 or 2 yourself, and then you would have all Cap 1 exemptions and you could do the MAC program. So that would be very, very cool. In relation to how do we bridge the gap? Well, we're bridging the gap by including more up-to-date modules that no other university has, such as sustainability reporting and analysis, AI and machine learning in accounting, management and environmental accounting, financial and ESG reporting. So we are looking at not only what the professional bodies want with the exemptions, but also now we're building in more modern modules, such as the involvement or enhancement in technology and sustainability. So I think we are really well and truly bridging that gap.
Thank you, Sean. Just one last question. Can I take up internal auditor or financial accountant job if I don't have relevant experience in accounting, but complete my AFM?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. That's definitely a very, very realistic career option to do something like that. And again, the options would be, there will be a lot of options for roles like that. Internal audit, it's actually very, very difficult for companies to get correct internal auditors, because a lot of people don't like to go down that particular road for whatever reason, or graduates definitely don't. So I think you would have a lot of options if you wanted to do that, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Sean. There's just one other question with regards to wishing this person would like information on the MSc Finance. You will need to contact, we're not actually discussing MSc Finance here. This is for MAC and AFM, Accounting Financial Management. There will be a program director and a program manager are happy to answer any queries. And I'm going to put the email address of the program manager in the chat box there. One more question has just come in. Which modules in AFM should we choose to get Cap 1 exemptions or ACC exemptions?
So I'm very happy to share the slides, Niamh, or again, the guys will, I can share the screen very, very quickly if that makes it easier. I don't know if we can do that, but I will try, and I can show you the breakdown again if you wanted to. So bear with me one moment.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, no problem. And I know, thank you very much everyone for hanging on. I know we should have been finished a couple of minutes ago, but it's very important to go through this. So my screen's just loading now. So if you wanted Cap 1 exemptions, you would have to do strategic corporate finance, financial risk management. They're mandatory, you do them anyway. Financial and ESG reporting, mandatory. The optional is advanced financial reporting, so that's an option. Law and governance is mandatory. Management and environmental accounting, accounting for performance and control, they're mandatory. So it's only really the taxation is optional and advanced financial reporting. So you would need to do both of those and you get full Cap 1 exemptions. For ACCA, there you have the list. So auditing and assurance, that's an optional module. Advanced financial reporting, that's an optional module. Taxation, that's an optional module. And everything else is a core module. So you will end up getting a lot of the exemptions anyway, without you even realizing it, if that makes sense, because you have to do those modules. So that's what the proposal is. And as I said, we're in the process of the final stages of the application, and we should hear back very, very soon. But I would be surprised if we didn't get exemptions for all the modules.
That is super, Sean. Thank you very much. I don't think we have any more time for questions. Thank you, Laura, and thank you, Sean, for today.
Thanks, guys.